This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block special. I'm gonna leave it at that because we kind of have a special episode for you guys. I was here with Boss Man Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello.
And
what is this strange intro?
I try to. I think because we got some things to cover and everything, and we're definitely going to talk about the Summer Game Fest. In general, and the Nintendo Direct, but I think it's just like this. What we're going to be discussing is more than just Nintendo and everything, because we got a lot of game announcements in.
But that deserves this intro. I'm so lost. Is it because we already recorded an episode tonight, Ed? You're just already introed out.
No, not so much intro out. It's just I'm doing this off the top of my dome. So it's a.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know what to call it.
It's just Pow Block. We're just recording Pow Block. That it's just going to be a second episode this week.
Okay. Well, everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block.
Jeez,
I don't know what to call it. You have, anywho. The fun, the behind the scenes fun, everybody. That
Eddie V never fails. well,
I'm gonna let that be. But everybody, we had a phenomenal Nintendo Direct. Summer Game Fest seems to be a hit this year. Some people had their problems with some things, but a lot of game reveals were shown, and we're just going to be talking about, giving our opinions on different showcases, some of the games. You guys, if you want to check out and hear more of us, you can check our direct recap with our special guest David. You can check out the special edition of Boss Rush Podcast with Corey, LaRon, Pat, and special guest Andrew Wilson. So do get Andre Wilson. Sorry, Andre. Shout out to you.
Andrew's the writer. Andre's the guest.
Yes, that is true. But you guys could check that out. Corey, where should we start, or how do you want to go about this?
Since this is a Nintendo show, we should probably start with just, now that we've kind of talked about the Direct to death, just kind of like, I don't know, how we felt about the Direct and how, kind of, I don't know, our favorite stuff from the Direct. I think, this Direct was something that, it even got LaRon excited. So, it was a good Direct.
Right.
So
I really felt like this was an A+ Direct, like a 10 top tier.
This was an S tier Direct, in my opinion. I think it was so good because we didn't expect anything, right? We expected it,
right?
Because it's, apparently not according to this Direct, but we all thought like Nintendo Switch was kind of over, and this was going to be the Direct of ports and remakes and remasters, and we got Zelda, but not the one we thought, and we got Metroid Prime, but not the ones we thought, and you know what I mean? Like, we got a lot of cool. We got Mario and Luigi, and not the ones we thought. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got a whole bunch of stuff, and I will toot my own horn for calling out Donkey Kong, though, because I did call that. But that's a conversation for right now. I called Donkey Kong. Check the tapes. Very proud of myself, although that was kind of a layup. I feel like there are only 2 Donkey Kong Country Returns games, and one of them's already on Switch, and it would make sense to have the other one here as well. Especially if, they're there's supposedly a third one in development, but I'll leave it at that because reasons. Uh, but yeah, it's this was a great direct. I thought everything showed really well. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
there was very many. Like, yeah, we got the farming game section, we got the anime game section, we got the, these types of things. We got the games that are out or coming out section, right? When like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is coming, right? But like this thing was there was no like real lull in this.
Yes.
Usually there's like that section where you're like, oh, I'm gonna go grab a snack or a drink or something, and maybe that was the basketball Nintendo Switch Sports section, but like there really wasn't a lull in this direct. It was really good. I'm actually quite shocked at how amazing this direct was, considering all of the circumstances surrounding this machine. You know,
Yeah.
8 years old, games, all sorts of games. Like, I'm like watching this direct. I'm like, man, my before the direct, I was like, man, I'm so glad Nintendo doesn't have anything coming out this fall because my wallet is dry, and PAX West is coming up, and I want to
Right.
try to go to that. And good thing I don't have to spend any money on games. I'm just going to be playing all these awesome Xbox Game Pass games, and I already pay for that. So, uh, and then Mario and Luigi's the first game. I'm like, oh, one game. I'm like, oh, November. That's my birthday. I can ask for that for my birthday, no problem. And then Donkey Kong, and then Zelda, and then Metroid, and then the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, and then all these other. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop! Just time out, time out. And like we were like halfway through it, and I think the group chat was like, man, look at all these banger games, and then it was like, yeah, we're not even halfway through yet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm crying a little bit, and
It
it was awesome. The direct was awesome.
it Capcom stole the show. Nintendo just clowned
Well,
every
I don't think
Nintendo.
Capcom stole the show. I think
I mean,
Metroid stole the show, but
well,
that's
yeah, but Nintendo clowned everyone. Just like, oh, it was just like we at up this level. If y'all want to meet us there, y'all announcements of games better be up that level. Capcom was just like, okay, we'll do it with Marvel versus Cap because with that Trent. And the reason why I keep talking about Marvel versus Capcom, that is one of the biggest reactions that people are having. They was just like, wait, what? You mean to tell me that like if you're literally thinking about it, Monster Hunter Wild, even though that got its love and it's still hype and people are excited to see it, I've never seen people react to that mug like they did this Marvel vs. Capcom. 7 games, 6 arcade fighting games, and then one with the Punisher beating them up.
yeah.
And then you got
What a weird inclusion.
right. Because I forgot that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 never did arcade. I think it was a straight console port. I mean, a straight built for console game. But then you get like Square Enix coming in with Dragon Quest 3 and then announcing 1 or 2. And I was just like, oh, okay, fine. Romance and Saga 2 the
Yeah, that game
remake?
looks great too, and I'm like ready to make fun of all these like anime looking games, but that game looked really good too. I'm like, dang,
Right.
I don't need
And
another JRPG to add to my backlog because there's already too many.
and then Super Mario Party Jamboree looks amazing that people are going to get. Like, that's a good October fun game and stuff. And it was just like, okay, so Nintendo do have plans for this year. Like literally after Luigi and Nintendo World Challenge, comes out, we got just like we got Zelda hitting us. We got Mario Luigi Brothership releasing. It's just like good googly moogly. We got Metro Prime starting off next year. Like, and then there's still a possibility to be like, okay, Tecmo Kobe, what are you doing? Bandai Namco, what are you doing? Platinum Games, you are being quiet. What are you doing? Because I'm like, if y'all doing something for Switch, I'm assuming y'all got something planned up your sleeve for Switch 2. And I was just like, man, if Jeff Keighley is not talking to Nintendo for the Game Awards,
maybe it's maybe it's Bayonetta Ultimate Edition.
Oh shoot, I shoot. I,
So they
I
can
would
fix
be.
that frame rate in that that
I
600p resolution.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. Well, no, they
I
did
know
the trilogy collection with the
they
Bayonetta 3 collection. I
they
think.
didn't though. They didn't do a trilogy collection.
I thought they did with the
Mm-mm.
collector's edition.
The Trinity Witch collection only has cover art for all three games. It doesn't come with all three games.
Oh, I thought it came with all three games. I was about to say, yeah, because I'm just like, there was just so much, but like with this direct, like 40 minutes, like it was like 40 minutes, and we was on a high already. And no, dude, it was only about I think the first 15 minutes.
Well, I'm
It was
telling
a
you,
big
like
high. Like,
I was already like done when Donkey Kong was announced. I'm like, okay, this is a great direct. And then like we got more. Stop.
yeah,
Slow down.
and then it was just like every time it every time these games got revealed, we were just like, what? Wait, huh? Just the diversity in the artwork, the type of genre games and stuff. It like Nintendo and the third party knocked it out. And once again, I think what made this just like so S tier and stuff is that the messaging was correct and it flowed so well. There was nothing over stuff. You got the picture, you got this game release. They showed you some ideas that was coming stuff. Some stuff was funny. This is the direction that this game is going in. Like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, like there's so many theories. That people could be having so many discussions, and we don't even know the full story just
So
yet. We're just getting
let me
ideas.
let me
Wait,
ask you, how excited is our friend Larry Giver about this right now?
super excited because when he seen that, because I didn't know who it was and everything,
Yeah,
and so when he mentioned Silex, um, or Silas, I think that's his name. I
Silux.
apologize,
It's
Silex.
Sylux. Um,
And then we talked more. A little, he called me at work a little bit that day during the after the direct was showing, and he was just like, those are not Metroids, those are mock Troids,
mhm.
because the pirates was trying to make it, and he gave me all this history, and I was just like, but they look like Metroids. He was just like, yeah, but they don't have the three kind of stem things that the Metroids have. I
Yeah.
guess they were trying to make them and stuff, and I was just like, wow. So I'm like, so this game, this Prime game, or I would say, because right now I think it's going to be another trilogy because this is a new story in a sense.
Well, it's not. It actually starts with hunters, right?
Mm.
Then
Which,
they hold.
which I think is coming out for Switch. I think they're remaking that
I'm
one or something.
I think I think what they're going to do is put 2, 3 and hunters in a collection now. Is my theory.
Mm.
For you can probably buy them each for $40, or you
Yeah,
can buy a collection for 70, something like that, 80, like a physical collection or whatever. But I think because Silex is in it and Hunters is so important to that storyline in particular, along with the end of 3, right? If you get the special ending of 3, you see Silex's ship chase after Samus's ship,
yeah.
and then Metroid Prime Federation Force, which is a game that I defend and I will continue to defend. Um, Silex is at the end of that as well. So, not saying that Federation Force will be available on Switch at some point, which we've had our fun with that game. But
I wouldn't be surprised if people actually gave that game a second chance of Switch.
I mean, yeah, now that Metroid Prime is out, right? I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
what people were mad about is we got this weird multiplayer game with no 2D or 3D Metroid in sight, right? Because
Right.
this even came out before Samus Returns on 3DS. This came out
Yes.
before that. So, we had no idea about Metroid Prime 4 or Dread or even that game, right? I mean, that game was a surprise to us even back then. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I think man, can we just talk about Metroid Prime 4 for a little bit? Like how
Yes.
just graphically and how incredible it looks
Good night. That game looks crazy good.
because like I don't know what magic they're using over there at Retro, and like, literally a huge Switch logo right on the trailer, right? Especially at the end
Hmm.
where the logo is, there's a big Switch logo there. But people are already theorizing that that's footage from the next console and that it's going to be a cross-gen title, which I'm actually of the opinion that it's actually just going to be a Switch game and that
Hmm.
they're going to push the next Switch to the fall. I think that's what's happening, or at least the summer, which is why I have a theory that PAX got pushed to May instead, so that Nintendo
Hmm.
could show games there.
That that's going to be a very interesting
Hmm.
time
Yeah,
because
because I thought
if
it all
okay,
depends on what happen. It all depends on what happens this fall in the next direct, right? Because they said
yes,
they were gonna show the next console this fiscal year, but they did not say they're going to release it this fiscal year, which is Nintendo is very deliberate on their wording, right?
yes,
All the time. I mean, they are just deliberate all the time to make sure people know what's going on when they do say something. So I originally thought they were going to do like the whole Switch reveal type thing, right? Which is like we're going to drop a trailer for the console randomly on YouTube one day. Then we're going to have this kind of breakdown of the console, and then we're going to do this blowout in January like they did with the Switch, and then maybe not a stage show at that point, maybe it's just a direct type presentation at that point, but
yeah,
uh and then the console would be out in March, right? That was my whole thing. And now I'm not so sure because we have huge games coming out in January and beyond, right?
yeah,
Mio, that 2D side-scrolling Metroid type game is coming. Donkey Kong Country Returns is coming. I think there was like two or three other 2025 games in there, right? Like Switch is still launching games, and like I know they said they wanted this to have a 10-year life cycle, and the 3DS was supported. I looked it up because I have an idea for episode 400, Ed, and I'm going to run it by you when we're done. Um,
okay.
but I've been making a list of the years and what important games came out in those years. Uh, Mostly because I'm trying to buy physically again for Switch, and I'm trying to look for all these games, but that's a different story for a different day. I literally just bought Metroid Prime Remastered physically uh,
Oh, nice.
while we were recording with David. It's gonna be here Friday. Uh,
Nice.
I Where was I going with that? Um, I think I truly think that Metroid Prime, if it shows up on the Switch 2, it's because the Switch 2 is backwards compatible. And I think that there may be some sort of smart delivery type. Xbox has smart delivery for those who don't play on Xbox, which is it kind of knows which device you're playing on and it
Hmm.
optimizes the game for that device. And I think Nintendo will, if the device doesn't do it for you, I think Nintendo is going to be able to patch a game the way that PlayStation does for PS4 games, right? Where, Horizon Zero Dawn has the PS5 patch where it runs at 1440p and 60 frames, right? Instead of 1080p 30. Uh, so I think one way or another, Nintendo's going to be able to do that. But that's my theory. Prime 4 Beyond is a Switch game. It's going to be the last Switch game.
I
And
just have I have a
so good.
feeling I have a feeling they got something up their sleeve though.
Yeah.
Because I think if they show another reveal of another sequel or even a new IP, if they still show something that is dropping for 25 just literally for Switch, then I don't think Metroid is the last one. Because
Well, it all
because
depends. It all depends on when that game comes out, right? If it
yeah,
comes out, I think that game is coming out probably late first quarter, early second quarter, right? Like it's somewhere in that
Mm-hmm.
March or May spot. Whereas sometimes they like to put tentpole games. I don't know, man. The more I watch this trailer, because like it's giving me real Halo 4 vibes. Like at the end of the 360, remember when Halo 4 was revealed, like the
Yeah,
real version of Halo 4, and like how good it looked and how great it ran, and it was
because
awesome on the 360. But like that was
because
running at
everybody.
that was running at 30 frames a second, and it looked that good. This is running at 60, very clearly running at 60 frames a second, and it's
Mm-hmm.
fast. And there's great lighting, there's great graphics. The enemies are moving like they're moving separately and not like, sometimes when you have games on lesser hardware, the enemies move specifically like together,
Yeah.
right? But they're doing different animations, but they're moving together to save memory and stuff.
Yes.
They were like moving independently of each other, and like you see these like fire, like there's this fire that looks really good, and like when the door opens and Silex walks in, and like the lighting coming in that shows his silhouette, that's all clearly an engine. And like the reflection in Samus's visor looks, it all looks really good. And I'm like, what is this magic? Because the Switch is not a powerful device. It is not.
Yes.
Like, we all saw Breath of the Wild running on it at launch. We all saw Xenoblade Chronicles 2 running on it at launch. It does not run huge games very well, right? Those games were great, very well optimized, especially after a couple patches. But like,
They
this
have to
game
be
looks
do.
incredible.
They have to be. They had to study Switch. Like, and they
Well,
had, I don't know if this is a new engine or what they're using. They had to do something to study this
mhm.
after they restarted this game. They had to be doing something, because in order for the way that it looks now, y'all had to be learning about this system. And I'm going to just say this was worth the wait. I don't care how many people want to clown Nintendo or be upset that it took this long. It was worth the wait.
I mean, you know how many games take long now? It's like nothing now.
Right.
I I do want to point out that like I don't know what engine they're using, but I do want to say that Retro has done enough on the Switch already that like, they ported Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, right? They've been using
Yeah.
the engine for a while. Um, they didn't do all of the work, but they did a lot of the work for Metroid Prime Remastered, which, they have a lot of and they also, what else? They did something else on Switch too. Retro did, they helped with something. Um
Uh
Hold on, let me look. I got to look it up because I know they helped with something, and they also had that Star Fox game in development for a while that they never used. So they're very clearly, um, let's see, game Retro Studios games on Switch. Let's look that up. They they helped with Mario Kart DLC, right?
okay.
Because they did Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, and then they helped with DLC for 8. So they know the systems. They know how Switch works, right? And they also had a lot of help from Iron Galaxy, which is they are an incredible porting house, right? They develop good
Yeah.
games, but they also are great at porting games, right? I mean, they got Borderlands 2 running on the Vita for, I mean, I know that wasn't an amazing port, but the fact that they got it running on Vita at all was like, I can't believe they did this. And they got, obviously got 3 running on Switch as
And
well.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hire Iron Galaxy to help them make this Prime 4.
I'm sure Iron Galaxy's name will be on the box somewhere. I I can almost guarantee it just because Dave Lang is on Jeff Gersman's podcast a lot, and he
Yeah.
talks a lot about porting games because they have ported a lot of things to Switch. And
Yeah.
I remember the last time he was on, he said he was not allowed to talk about what they were working on. Um, and it ended up being Prime, and then there was another project, right? Which I'm assuming is this. Uh, So I wouldn't put it past them to have their name on this box
So
because I
so my
plus they have a lot of first person shooter, you know,
so
talent.
my question is, when did Nintendo step out to work with Iron Galaxy?
Um, that's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. I want to see
Because it's
Iron Galaxy
because even
games on
even with
Switch.
Nintendo stepping out to work with Arc System, um, it's
Yeah.
just like Nintendo stepping out to work with a lot of companies
Hmm.
that we don't know until the game releases or till like more information comes out, and it surprises a lot of people to be like, oh, this got to be a good start of good business relationship. And I know people are going to take it up if Nintendo's coming to them and offering it because
Right.
somebody's talking. Somebody's just like, oh yeah,
Yeah. So they have done. Let's see support. And let's see. They ported Overwatch to Switch, Diablo 3 to Switch, Skyrim, Crash Trilogy, Spyro Trilogy, and then they don't have it. They don't have any Nintendo titles on their website, and I know they helped with. It's probably a Nintendo thing. It's probably not their thing. Uh, but I mean, they have enough work with Switch that I'm reading this right on their website. So,
mm-hmm.
and obviously, Killer Instinct is theirs now too, right? So, um, yeah, I think Iron Galaxy is. I think they are one. We talk about Panic Button and how great they do ports, and Saber Interactive
Yeah,
how good they are at porting games. I think Iron Galaxy is right up there with them. I know we don't talk about them as much, but
yes,
they are
they work in the Shadow Stone,
they're an
so
incredible studio that doesn't get enough credit. I'm really sad that
which
their wrestling game, what was it, Rumbleverse, didn't pan out because it was a
mm,
cool idea. But it
speaking of Panic Button, I feel like they're gonna be working with Microsoft on that Doom game.
well, yeah, I don't think it's any question that those games are coming to Switch 2 at this point.
Yeah,
I think I definitely think Doom the Dark Ages will be on Switch 2 at some point. I think Indiana Jones and Avowed will be on Switch 2 at some point, in
I
my
I
opinion.
re- so
Uh,
I really sorry guys for the side tangent, but I really
I mean,
feel
this
like
whole
the
show is designed to be a side tangent,
side
so
tangent. I really feel that Microsoft is gonna allow Bethesda and ZeniMax itself to go back to being third party with some stuff, and
well,
I think
I
that would be literally the smartest move for them.
yeah, I think my theory, well, since they bought Bethesda, my theory was that, and this turned out to be false too because we've seen Obsidian games go to other consoles at this point, but
Mm-hmm.
my theory was all Xbox Game Studios games would be Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
All Bethesda games would be timed exclusives, and all Activision Blizzard games would be day one. Uh, but that's clearly not happening now. My theory is that all Xbox Game Studios games will be a game by game basis
Mm-hmm.
based on the studio, uh, and then Bethesda games, all of them will be considered to be day one games, uh, which is clearly a game by game basis as well because Indiana Jones is still an Xbox exclusive right now.
Yeah.
Uh, and then all Activision Blizzard games will still continue to be, you know, uh, cross platform, day and date, all that stuff. But I'm really excited because, I mean, you talk about games that could potentially be there from Microsoft. I mean, Black Ops 6 will probably be a launch title for the next console, right?
It just makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, depending on when it comes out, Black Ops 6 or whatever the next Call of Duty is will be a launch title.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Overwatch will probably get some sort of update for it. Doom seems like a perfect, ideal candidate since the other two are there. Um, Indiana Jones seems perfect. Avowed seems ideal. I wouldn't be shocked if Hellblade 2 ended up making it over at some point because the first one is on Switch.
That would be interesting to see who ports that one.
Um, well, you got to think Microsoft probably has internal. They have dev kits for all these consoles now. I mean, they've had them because of Minecraft anyway,
Yeah,
alone. So I
which
don't know.
that's
I
why
think
some of their which means that some of their games could show. Yeah, because I
I
think
like how we
with
started talking about
Nintendo.
how good Metroid looked, and this is the conversation we ended up having.
Well,
Uh,
because I think and I know we talked about Iron Galaxy and retro and Halo 4 and stuff like that and like I mentioned like Battlefield and stuff and Call of Duty and stuff like
mhm,
that. It 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 plays a part in Nintendo's success and forward thinking for their next console because it's just like these some of these developers who are making games for the first time for Nintendo who probably never made games for it it really feels like they when they learned the magic of what they could do, they could use their knowledge to like maybe port a game or make something from ground up. Like and because there's been such a big success with Microsoft and Nintendo, and we have been seeing them and talking about their success and stuff, it just makes that when Switch 2 comes out or their successor comes out, whatever they name it, there's a chance to once again be successful out the gate
mhm,
again and
yeah,
even build up more. Now, I don't know if that's going to allow for them to surpass um Switch, but it's going to be like, okay, how do we keep the ball rolling of just being delivering great quality? Cuz at this point in time, we're going to need the Microsoft stuff.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think that this was I think man, Metroid is like I think Metroid is like a proof of concept of like, hey, this is the direction we're going in some of our
Mhm.
games. Like, like that Square Enix meme, please be excited. But like, I think everybody seems really excited for Metroid Prime 4. Um,
Yeah.
Although I do have to call out some of the dumb reactors who weren't even born when Metroid Prime came out, and they were like freaking out like they had been playing the series. Like I saw this one person freaking out posting a video on Twitter, and then the first comment was by this person that said, "I've never played a Metroid Prime game, but this looks awesome." I'm like, then why are you like?
Reacting that way.
And like, I get that like I don't want to say people can't be excited for things because that's great, but like don't be that person that looks like they've been playing the series since the very beginning and then be really excited. like act like you've been playing since the beginning and then the first comment is like, "Oh, I've never played a Metroid game." And it's like, "Okay, well, whatever.
We
You know
could
what?
s- we
Do what you want. Whatever.
we
I'm
could
just an
tell when
old
there's a
curmudgeon."
we could tell when there's a natural reaction and what is a superficial reaction.
Yeah, 90%
Thank
of
you
the
for
reactions on YouTube are fake, everybody. Spoilers. Um yeah. You know what
but
I
there
miss
are
do you know what I really miss
okay.
doing though? And we had talked about doing this before, but like I really miss streaming the watch alongs together
Yeah.
and like doing that sort of stuff. And I got to figure out if Nintendo is still going to pull your stuff down if you show their footage or not, which I think they kind of changed policies on that, but I haven't tried to find out.
It seems that a lot of people are still like on YouTube or whatever streaming the direct and doing reactions and stuff, and it seems that Nintendo's not going after them or anything.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I just Metroid Prime 4 looks awesome. It's very fluid, very fast. Glad they
mhm.
showed the scanning because I think that was one of the big complaints about 2 and 3 is that there wasn't as much scanning. I mean, 2 was a straight up first person shooter, I think, right? Because they had that multiplayer suite that was similar to Halo's at that point.
Yeah.
Uh, and then or I guess maybe more like Perfect Dark and Time Splitters at that point. But uh, and then three was on the Wii, so you know. I think this is a real return to form, though. I think this is the perfect game to show off as a swan song to your console that is super popular.
Yes.
Great job, Nintendo, on this. Great job, Retro Studios, on whatever it was when you restarted development to this. Great job. Great
Yeah.
job.
I I think if we ever saw gameplay from its original idea, I don't think it would have been accepted like this one has
Hmm.
from Beyond,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
um,
what else do Zelda? We didn't. I mean, we talked a little bit about Zelda with David, but we were
yes,
kind of running out of time, uh, which was our fault because we kept going on tangents. But I mean, another like doll art style for Zelda. Like it looks
they
awesome.
the way they
I
wrote
really
it
thought it was a
out,
remake of the first game, by the way. I saw
I
that I saw Pig Ganon, I'm like, are they remaking the first game? I kind of got really excited because like I've never played the NES. I've played them, but I've never finished the NES ones. And I
yes,
thought if they could just remake the first game, and we talked about it when Link's Awakening came out. Like if they could just remake the first game or the second game in this type of art style
yes,
and make it, give it some quality of life changes that would like infinitely improve the game, like I would be all over it. And I thought we were getting the first game. I really thought we were getting the first game, and I grabbed I grabbed my desk at work because I was like, you know, because
if
Link runs in, right? You see him running in, you see the sword to kind of like do the shink type thing,
yeah,
and then you see like the him with the shield, and then he has the hood, which was a nice merging of the Breath of the Wild with the older style because the hood is,
yeah,
the hood represents Breath of the Wild to me, right? And then he throws it off and he has the green tunic on. Like that was a nice merging of the two worlds, I guess, if you want to use
yes,
that metaphor. Uh, Ironically for Zelda. Uh, and then they show him fighting Ganon, and Zelda's in the crystal, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this? Oh my gosh, I thought they were remaking the first game, Ed.
because I it would have puzzled me to be like, if they were going to do the first one, are we getting the Triforce pieces back?
Hmm.
Because that is the first game. But
Yeah,
when I seen Link, when I seen the shield, uh,
yeah,
I would say this: when I rewatched it and seen that, oh, he has the shield, the metal, the triangle, the three triangle shield, for the Triforce. I was just like, okay, this is something different, and like Link Between Worlds came to my mind to be like, what is this? But then I was just like, no, this wasn't in Link Between Worlds. So what is this game? And then when Zelda got loose, I'm like, oh, this is something completely different. Now,
hmm
don't get me wrong. If this literally was the Legend of Zelda remake, I may have to call you and be like, I know you at work. You may be podcasting.
I was
But
watching this during a podcast at work while I was recording a podcast at work. I was trying to take notes
mhm.
on both things at the same time while trying to listen to both at the same time. Although, like, it's easier to watch the direct with no sound than it is to focus on work with no sound. Clearly.
Yeah,
Uh, Anyways, continue. Sorry, I keep
but
interrupting. I'm just so excited.
no, because I think I would have caught. I definitely would have texted you. I would have been like, they're remaking the Legend of Zelda in this style, and I probably would have lost my mind, but I definitely would be like, I need to. I wonder how much this game is going to sell, because it literally, people would have been disappointed because they would wanted like two or Link to the Past remake, but I'm like, I'm fine with with the Legend of Zelda being remade because I still feel like people haven't really played that first one unless like there's a new Zelda game coming out,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but I would have lost my mind if that was happening. And then if the cart was gold and everything, I'm like,
Hmm.
oh heck yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really cool and interesting too. But I don't know. I think it looks great. I think playing as Zelda is cool. I think I think this might be a test bed to see if the next 3D game will allow you to play as either Zelda or Link. I don't think they're going to make one where you can play as one or the other. I think, I mean, clearly 99 out of 100 times you're going to play as Link now, right? But
Yes.
um I mean, my theory for Tears of the Kingdom was you were going to be able to swap between them, right? And I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but I think maybe on the next console that could happen. Uh, and
Do you think
I think they're what what?
do you think Anuma knew that you will play Zelda in a game but kept his mouth shut?
Well, they did say that the door is always open for that to be a possibility after Tears of the Kingdom came out. So they clearly like didn't shut the door on that idea, right? So
Because Anuma had to be overseeing Grezzo and Monolith Soft and the Zelda team. Like he had there's no way
are we sure Grezzo is the one developing this?
with this art style it has to be them. I don't think it could be anybody else. And Grezzo has literally been quiet.
Yeah.
It has to be Grezzo. They're the first ones to use this art style. So most likely they are well educated in using this art style.
Yeah.
And I think there may be other developers at Nintendo getting doing other games and getting their reveals and then probably doing stuff for the successor, you know.
Yeah.
Because like of course Intelligent System we just did Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. Um and so they're probably already heads on until like their next game. Like
Yeah.
even though they did Fire Emblem Engage, I think they're probably in the writing process, art process of doing another Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw a lot of people kind of complaining that there wasn't a Fire Emblem game here. I'm like, we just got one last year. This like
right.
remember when everybody was complaining that we got like 5 Fire Emblem games in 3 years, like, and we just got one last year, and you're complaining now? Like, come on. I I know people want the genealogy of the Holy War, which has been rumored forever. I still want the pirate game that's been rumored since the 3DS.
Yeah,
I still want that pirate game really bad.
and I think Koei Tecmo has been busy with a lot of games
I'm
for
sure
other
they have.
platforms.
I mean, Koei Tecmo just what did they do? They just
Isn't that Wulong?
no,
Or
the um shoot, the game that just came out, Rise of the Ronin, isn't that theirs?
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Koei Tecmo. That's what I was thinking of.
And then
Yeah, and
yeah,
they said that
so
was their best selling game.
which is crazy
Uh,
to think about, right? I mean, that seems really out of all the games they put out 800 Dynasty Warriors games a year. Like where
mm-hmm. And they
tell me
getting ready
those
to do another Dynasty Warriors
I
game.
know
That's crazy.
Origins. You're telling me it sold better than both Neo games, any of the Ninja Gaiden games? Like that's that's weird. I mean, good for them, good for that IP, good for them, good for the brand. But like,
I I I want to look up the numbers because I have to assume. I
I mean,
think out of all of
that has
their
to be like
games,
3 or 4 million units at least. Because Neo sold like 2 or 3 million, and you're telling me it sold better than them? That's
probably.
I mean,
Yeah, I would have to see the numbers.
that's
But
so strange.
I wonder is it just for games that's their own IP, not games that
No,
has been in the
it
company.
includes any licensed IP as well. I mean, I know this Hyrule Warriors games did not sell anything, and the
But
Fire
I'm
Emblem
assuming.
the first Fire Emblem Warriors game sold less than 1 million units. So
But I'm assuming Fire Emblem Three Houses sold bunkers. I wonder, and
it's I think it's sitting around the 3 or 4 million unit mark. But that's Bandai Namco though. Is
no,
no, that's Tecmo Koei. No, you're right.
that's Kobe Tecmo. Yeah.
Oh, then
So that's why I
dang.
want that's what because Fire Emblem Three Houses sold. That mug was hard to find. Like
I
in the
know.
first week that it was released, and then they re-released it again, and it sold out again. Like the number game for that has to be high. So if Rise of the Ronin is like their best selling game, they had to surpass 3 or 4 million.
Uh
But I wonder
Fire
if that is. Oh, go ahead.
Fire Emblem Three Houses as of this past December has sold 4.12 million copies.
Okay.
So I mean, let's just round it to 4.5 million. So you're telling me Rise of the
Yeah.
Ronin sold that more than that? Um,
And
I'm
that's a
gonna look that up.
multi-platform game.
It's not.
Yeah. I
It's
thought that was
only
on
on
PC
PlayStation.
too. It was
It's
only on
only on
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh, that's so weird.
Because I was about
Uh,
to say, I thought Three Houses would be the highest for them. That's why I'm
yeah.
trying
That's
to
so
wonder if it was IP that they made themselves or just all in general, all together.
yeah. I am seeing I don't see sales numbers. Maybe because it's during a fiscal quarter that they haven't released numbers yet, or maybe
Okay.
Sony will release them soon. Because when did it come out?
I,
May ish.
I think so. May or part of I think May.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we should be hearing about that from Circana soon, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
I know in Famitsu, I think a couple of weeks they was just like sale number wise, everything went right back to Nintendo. Like Nintendo all ended on their all 10, the top 10 and stuff. So I think Rise of the Running may be on that list, but I'm not guaranteed sure if that's the
yeah.
case.
It says it says their goal was to sell 5 million units lifetime. And a lot of outlets are reporting that it seems that they've hit that mark already.
Okay, then
And
that would make
it's
it
only on PlayStation 5. There's no PC version yet, and it doesn't look like it's going to come to Xbox either because PlayStation published it. So,
okay.
uh, I, I mean, good for that, but like, dang, 5 million is your best selling game. I just, I don't, I don't know, man. I thought Dynasty Warriors was more popular than that. Maybe because they
I
release a new version every year that they just are
mm-hmm.
like, well, on to the next.
So that's what. Yeah. Well, that's good for them. Good for Koei Tecmo and
Yeah.
everything. Uh, so, but yeah, but definitely, because I know we got some other ones that we want to talk about. Um, I will say that some of the games that we didn't talk about, like Stray, Ace
Mm,
Attorney, the 100 line Last Defense Academy looks really good. Romancing Saga 2 looks good. Um,
yeah.
Metal Slug Attack Reloaded looks good.
There was a
Just
lot
Dance,
here to be excited for.
yeah,
I'm
the
like I'm looking at the list you sent me, and because we were trying to look at this list in order when we were recording with David, and I'm just looking at the list here, and I'm just like, there is so much to be excited because like even the Ace Attorney games are new for us. Like, I mean, I know they've been out
yes,
in overseas for
Japan.
a long time, but like they're new for us. So like, I don't know, man. I'm so
And
excited. I'm so
oh,
excited
dude,
for
I
and
I not
Mario
just
Mario and Luigi. Oh
I just found out that that Europe didn't get Miles too, but now they're getting it. Mario and Luigi Brothership. Like I love that name. I love that artwork could literally just be a cartoon series.
yeah, it's It's
like,
cool. I
and that
I do
uh,
wish the art style was a little bit cleaner. It does look a
mhm,
little, I don't, janky isn't the right word, but like it just doesn't, it didn't hit really for me. Like I like that art style when it's done right, but like
yeah.
you look at something like Wind Waker that does it incredibly well, and then you look at this and it's kind of like you're almost there, guys. It reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the 3DS version of Smash Brothers. You know, like when the
Yes.
levels started zooming out and they started putting the thick black line around the characters so you knew where they
Yeah.
were, and like that's what it reminded me of, but like super zoomed in, and it was just not, it wasn't doing it for me, you know. And I almost wish they would take the outlines of the characters out because I think that that style would hit better.
Because it has some. It's
I don't mind the cell shaded look. I also
but
I'm
it's
like,
isn't it a mixture of cell shade and watercolor, water paint? But there's
I don't know.
something about it that's rich. Cause and I think it's the full. I think it's the way that it's colored and that shaded color is and everything. It's just like something about this is rich. But I keep thinking like something. I don't. Yeah. I'm sorry, Corey. And
No, it's,
go ahead.
you're fine. I wish it, you know what I wish it was? I wish it was the hand drawn art that's on the covers of the boxes.
Yes. That
That's
yes.
because I'm like, the Switch is perfect for that. We look, see how great Paper Mario looks right now, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Paper Mario looks
Yeah.
fantastic. Like, give us that hand drawn animation. And this looks like the 2.5D version of that animation, I think. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
bothers me a little bit is like, you're clearly going for a 3D look, but you're also trying to imitate the box art, and it's just not hitting, I think, the way that you expected it to or wanted it to. Now, granted, very clearly online, I am in the minority of that. And I think maybe that's because me as a person who went to art school is very meticulous on the way that things look. And I hate when
Yes.
things look off, which is partially why I don't draw very much anymore because I have kind of lost it and I just don't, I just, you know, haven't been practicing. And I just, when I go to sit down and draw, I'm just like, I'm going to mess this up and I just don't try. But the other thing is like, it, I don't know, man. I wished it used the Wind Waker style of cell shading instead of
Yeah.
them trying to make the 2D art style into a 3D art style.
Because it really is going for a comic book look. Like it has the comedy beats with
Yeah,
the
which is
effects
great.
and everything.
I think the comedy is there. I mean,
Yes.
I know Alpha Dream isn't working on it because sadly they closed after the last Mario and Luigi game that they put out.
Which I was talking to myself in my mind. I think they hired some people from Alpha Dream to come into their studios. They
Well, they
had
did.
to.
They did. They, well, so there was a tweet going around. Two of the lead designers for those games work at Monolith now. One of them works on the team that did the Mario RPG remake.
Mm-hmm.
One of two of them are, there were six people in this picture and they were all higher ups at Alpha Dream. Two of them are at Monolith. One of them worked on the Mario RPG remake. Two of them are at Grezzo, I want to say, and then one of them works at Nintendo internally now in on like the, I want to say they work on like the Splatoon team or something strange, but like
Yeah.
there's clearly enough want from internal team members for a Mario and Luigi game to come back, right? And so, you know, they've brought people in from Alpha Dream. The studio didn't just shut down and people moved on, right? They moved them around, but I mean, obviously not everybody, but most
Right.
people from there found. I mean, that team was small anyway. I mean, they were making 3DS RPGs. How big could that team really be? Uh,
Right. And they weren't part of Nintendo. Everybody.
mm-mm.
They were their like independent company that
Yeah, they're like
Nintendo
one of the
hired.
rare independent Japanese studios that worked with first parties, which was a neat idea, right?
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like.
Oh no, no.
Uh,
But yeah,
uh,
I think it's one of those games that I cannot wait till I play on my TV.
oh, I
I
can't wait
think
to play this. I'm not playing on TV. I'm playing on my OLED. There's no chance I'm playing Mario and Luigi on the TV.
I think I had to experience it on the TV. You know, to
Yeah.
see more of the graphical look and like and everything because of like if the music is good, I'm of course I'm gonna love the music, but I'm like this kind of comedy, if I'm going to bust out laughing, I don't want to drop my switch or anything. And it looks like if I had played it on the TV and the comedy is there, I could laugh and
Hmm.
have a good time
Yeah.
with it. Sad I
Yep.
can't share it anymore, but like, yeah.
Oh man, so good,
But
man.
I just love that brothership name. It's just so
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I do want to say like the actual animations of the characters is incredible. The way like Luigi is running from the bees at the beginning, right? And
Yes,
there's an animation during a gameplay sequence where Mario jumps on an enemy, does a backflip. Luigi is jumping on an enemy while Mario's doing the backflip. Luigi lands on his hands and kicks Mario back up at an enemy, and Mario jumps onto another enemy and then turns around and kicks a turtle shell at some point. And I'm like, this whole sequence of animations was
yes.
probably like somebody's life for 6 months developing these animations. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful the way that they did that. And like, even when Mario kicks the shell, the way
Hmm.
Mario spins while he's kicking, and then you see the leg
Yes.
kind of like circle around Mario's body to kick the shell. And it's not just like a generic kick, it's just this whole other animation of him doing a special kick to kick the shell. It was really great. I
And
loved it.
it's so it's so choreographed so well, and it's just like I think that's what I love about Nintendo. And when they kind of do this cartoony art style, they have the freedom to be able to blow your expectations, and you know, like it's not about the physics, it's not about the reality. It's like it's computer fantasy, and when it's executed, it's pulled off so well
Yeah.
and so good that it's memorable.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I love it. I love it so much. And then
Uh,
the other game that the I mean, there was pretty much four games that I was super pumped for.
mm,
I mean, I was good on a lot of them, but like, and the last one was the Donkey Kong Returns HD game.
yes.
I I love it. I love that game. I think it's incredibly underrated. I think not enough people played it. It's really difficult. Well, it
Mm-hmm.
was on the Wii, but you're playing with the Wii remote, so it might be easier with a real controller that people like to use. Uh, sorry, I hate the Wii. Everybody knows I hate the Wii. That's the only console where Nintendo wasn't my primary console. Was that stupid machine? That's when I got really into Xbox.
And I got into PlayStation 3
Yeah.
while playing the Wii.
Well, somebody. I mean, we all had to go somewhere. I went Xbox as I'm a broken Sega kid, but that's another conversation for a different day. Oh man, this episode feels really old school. I like it. I like it.
Yes.
I really love Donkey Kong Country Returns though. I beat it on the
The,
Wii. I 100%ed it on the 3DS. It
mm,
is an incredible platformer. Uh, and I'm a person that does not really care for Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Uh, but the way this feels and Retro's level design, 2D level design, by the way, and the way they use the foreground and the background was just awesome.
mm.
Loved it.
I I will say I seen the comparison shots that they started doing. Good night, they look so good. It looks so clean on Switch. Like
Yeah,
of course it's brighter and stuff, but like people say it doesn't have that Vaseline edge look
yeah,
for it. I'm like, yeah, they really went and put some work into this.
yep. It was great. So kudos to them. It was really good. I loved it so much. I love this direct. This is the best direct they've done
Mm-hmm.
in a long time. Uh, I don't remember the last time I was this excited for a direct. Maybe that I mean that the 2019 stuff was really good. What else was really good? Ed? There was a lot of great directs, but this was top tier. This was a top tier direct, and the fact that it's coming at the end of the
The
Switch's life cycle is
the direct that we went crazy on was that September or October one when Doom got announced. I think Doom and Wolfenstein got announced for Switch,
right. But
and
that was still 2017.
yeah, but I'm just like that was a top tier one because we were just like we it was a top tier one because the way that like we me and you couldn't stop talking about it. Like we literally just like we got to podcast about this. Like we got to do a direct. I think was I don't. It wasn't the start of the direct recap, but I would just. But I knew that like
No, that's
when
when we
we
were just
did,
recording like 800 episodes a week
as
and thought it was
yeah.
fun.
But I'm like the way that we just couldn't stop talking about that game. I mean that direct and
Yeah.
stuff that led up to many possibilities and
Hmm.
everything. We were just like who knew that a direct would be this tight and stuff?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
like I know there wasn't a lot of third party stuff here. Capcom showed up though. Let me tell you,
yeah.
Capcom showed up real good. Uh, but I think this just proves Nintendo. I mean, I've said this on like 5 shows in a row now, but Nintendo has figured it out, man. Like they've really figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as a fan, as someone who's been a fan for, I would say a Nintendo fan for a long time, but like really a real huge Nintendo fan since the N64 and the GameCube era. Um, like really coming into the space and being a fan of all this stuff is like this is the first time I feel like I am overwhelmed by Nintendo games on one system. I am
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, right? And like the Nintendo 64, you could totally keep up with Nintendo's first party, right? Like, I mean, we had
Yes.
Pilot Wings and Mario for like 6 months before we got anything else. Uh, and for me, Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey for some reason. Uh, game was really bad. But then, like, the GameCube, we had Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin, Smash Brothers, like all in a row. And then it was like, I don't know. I don't even remember the next game from Nintendo on that at that point. And then like the Wii, we had Zelda at launch and Wii Sports, but what was after that? And then the Wii U was the Wii U, the Wii U.
Yeah.
So, and because they always had to split between the console and the handheld, and as much as I really like the handheld gaming experience, like I would rather play my games on the TV. So I really focused putting my like allowance money or extra money when I got older, or extra ex, expense money towards the console games, and I would have very few handheld games. Like if Zelda came out on a handheld, I would play it. If Mario did, I would play it. Fire Emblem is a handheld game to me anyway, uh, that sort of thing. But Nintendo now, Wii U 3DS and mobile was a lot to split development time for, right? And the fact that Switch has figured it out for not just 1 or 2 or 3 years, but for 8 years, constantly putting something out every 4 to 8 weeks, like
Yeah.
first party wise, whether it's a new game, a port, a remaster, a remake, something. I can't believe it. Even 2020, when the pandemic was really hitting us, right? Like
Right.
they put out something like 7 or 8 first party games still that year.
And they still had stuff in the pipe that we didn't even know about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had no idea the Zelda game was coming.
No,
I
nothing.
think I think everybody thought if we saw anything Zelda, it would be the ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which
I,
I know
I
a lot
put
of
them.
people are still upset about, but
I was just like, okay, there's a possibility we get Tears of the Kingdom DLC. Like,
well, they already said they're not doing DLC for Tears of the Kingdom.
oh,
Nintendo
I just
already
put it on there.
I Here's the thing. Very clearly, the Switch 2 is not as close as we think it is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could still come in March. I think it's getting delayed. They want Zelda products out every year. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are not being released together, everybody. They're going to be released separately as $60 products. Okay, it's Zelda.
Yeah.
So I think we will get one early next year. I think we will get one in that February slot or April slot. Uh, but the fact that we're getting a new top-down 2D Zelda, I mean, there's
So
so many great things in this direct. I
so
I, I
let's
just
see.
want to keep talking in circles because there's so many great things.
So, but if we think about it, okay, 17, and I'm even not even gonna rate you. 17 is Breath of the Wild. Next up with Skyward Sword, I believe.
Breath of the Wild,
Breath
Hyrule Warriors Definitive
Hyrule
Edition.
Warriors. Okay.
Then we got Skyward Sword HD. Nope, nope. Link's Awakening in 2019.
When the
2020
Age of Calamity drop.
2021 was Age of Calamity. 2022 was Skyward Sword, right? Skyward Sword.
Yeah, because
Tears of the Kingdom was
23.
last year.
Yeah,
And
and
Cadence
then
of Hyrule
Echoes.
was in there too. Remember that?
Yes.
Like they've sold a Zelda product every year since the Switch launched, except for 1 year. I don't remember which year it was, but
I think it
I
was eight.
I think it was
No, 18.
2020. I think it was 2022 because that's when Tears of the Kingdom was supposed to come out that Christmas, and then they delayed it. Remember? So 2022, I
Yeah.
think, was the year that Zelda didn't come out.
Was
But we
Game
got
Boy
a bunch
NSO
of
wasn't Game Boy NSO wasn't out yet.
I don't remember. I do remember we got some Zelda games on NSO though.
NSO. So that kind of could feel it too,
Yeah,
in a sense.
yeah.
But you're talking about sale
I'm
wise.
I'm I'm talking about physical Zelda products that you could go
Mm-hmm.
purchase on the shelf, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean they want a Zelda product out every year. Like you have technically four more 3D Zelda games that you haven't ported over to the Switch yet, right? I mean, you could technically do HD versions of the 3DS Ocarina and Majora's Mask games.
It's just so weird that Tears dropped in May of
Mm-hmm.
last year. It's already been a year.
I
So
know.
let's see, June, July, August, September. A year and 4 months is a
Mm-hmm.
new Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Top down, just in general. I'm not worried about
Yeah.
timelines or anything about that. I was just like, wow, like
Right, but they
they.
they clearly have two or three teams working on Zelda at all times. It feels
Mm-hmm,
like at this point, right? I mean, the Link's Awakening remake, Grezzo is a Zelda team, in my opinion, at this point, right? They are just
mm-hmm.
very clearly. They did one other thing that wasn't Zelda. I don't remember what it was. What was it? What did they do that was not Zelda? How do you spell Grezzo? I need to look this up.
Grezzo.
Grezzo games. I don't want images. I just want games. Video games. They did. Grezzo did. Ever Oasis was the Zelda game, the non-Zelda game that they did for
Okay.
3DS. They also
Oh,
did the
love that game. That needs to come back.
apparently they also did the first Luigi's Mansion. Oh, they did the 3DS version of the first game. Okay. They also did something called Sasuke Library 23rd, which only came out in Japan in on phones. So,
This
but
is, I
Ed
think that was
Ed
before Grezzo brought them.
yeah,
I mean, before Nintendo brought them.
yeah. I need you to rant for a minute. I have to pee because I forgot to do that before we started recording when I needed
Mhm.
to, and it's been an hour and 10 minutes. So
Okay.
rant about
Well,
something that you enjoyed.
well, everybody. Um, just just to give you a big rundown, in case if you guys want to know. It was Mario and Luigi Brothers Ship, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, Fairy Tail 2, Fantasia Neo Dimension, Nintendo Switch Sports, which was the basketball DLC, Mio Memories in Orbit, Disney Illusion Island Update with DLC, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports, Among Us DLC, Farmagia, a game that was at the Marvelous Showcase. Do go check that out. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, and they're also releasing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 in the future. Funko Fusion, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, The New Dimpa Man, Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, Darkest Dungeon 2, Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack, which includes the Link to the Past plus 4 swords for GBA, Metroid Zero Mission. They have the Nintendo 64 Mature Plus app, which you could get for free if you own Nintendo NSO. Part of the expansion pass if you own that, so you will be able to play Turok and be able to play Perfect Dark for that. You got Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Just Dance 2025 Edition, Lego Horizons Adventures, Stray, Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, The 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, and Metro Prime 4 Beyond. So that is kind of the rundown of the Nintendo Direct, which, man, Lego Horizon Adventures, I think a lot of people are going to end up buying that game definitely for Switch with it. We mentioned Ace Attorney Investigations. That's Miles Edgeworth game, the prosecutor from the first Ace Phoenix Wright games. He ended up getting his own games on the GBA, but they never got translated here to come out here in America. So no, they were the DS games. I'm sorry. And they it never came. So this is the first time them coming out of that country. We design artwork, and you can also play in this old school way. So Capcom has really been a hit and releasing a lot of their DS games. Um, like we got the Ghost Trick, we got that, which I still need to go pick up. That people could try out and play.
You didn't pick
So
up
yeah,
Ghost Trick yet?
not yet. I am
Oh
gonna
my
go get it.
gosh. Stephanie
I
beat it.
I know. I'm happy that she did. I don't know if they. I can't find any physical version of Ghost Trick.
You're gonna
I
have to
gotta try
import
to
it.
find it. Yeah,
I don't know how all that works.
but I will say because I did beat it on the DS. But I do want to own it for a Switch also. So,
Mm.
but yeah, everybody, that is pretty much the rundown of the Nintendo Direct. So you have a lot of games to choose from. Hopefully you guys watch the Direct and rewatch it, analyze some things that you may have missed. Um, I know a lot of people watch it on YouTube, probably on their computer or phone, but I think this is something that you need to watch on your TV because there's probably some details that you may have missed. Uh,
I loved it. I think this was the best direct they've done in a long time, and I cannot wait to see. I can't wait to see these games in action on my Switch. Have, I am really, I'm thinking about going back and replaying Metroid Prime One. To be honest, I think I
mm.
might do that. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
I just restarted. I'm saying restarted. I just started up Metroid Zero Mission.
Mm,
And I'm super excited to play through that. I think a lot of people are going to do a playthrough of all five games on Switch. Um,
mhm.
I'm thinking I I'm I
Well,
I think I'm gonna wait because the Xbox Game Showcase with the Gears game coming out. I
uh-huh.
think I kind of I wonder, should I wait for that new Gears to drop and do that first and then
No, because
replay one through
there's
five?
no because well, first of all, you should play Judgment 1, 2, and 3 uh before E Day comes out. But I mean, I love 4 and 5, but they don't have anything to do with this story. Um
Well, yeah, well,
I'm actually I mean, this would be an okay transition into the Xbox showcase, I guess.
yes.
So if you we're done talking about the direct right now. So if you don't want to hear anything else that's not Nintendo related, you can tune out now. Glad you stayed for an hour and 15 minutes. Uh, but go, I'm speaking of the Xbox showcase. I'm really disappointed it's not Gear 6. I'm like really disappointed it's not Gear 6. I am not saying this must be how people felt when Metroid Prime Federation Force got announced before any Metroid games. Um,
Yes.
but like, here's the thing, Ed. I love that original trilogy. It means a lot to me. I have a Marcus statue sitting back there. I don't know if you can
Yes.
see it underneath my Hyrule shield over there. I have a Carmine statue somewhere over there too, like a 7-inch one. And it's I love Gears so much, but we've already gotten 3 prequels. I don't want another prequel. We had Judgment is a prequel, Gears Tactics is a prequel, the DLC for Gears 3 is a prequel that takes place during E Day.
Yeah.
Judgment takes place what 2 weeks after E Day. Gears Tactics is like, you know, within the realm of E Day before the first game. Like, I'm tired of the prequels. I understand people love Marcus and Dom, and I am clearly the only one upset about this on the internet. I'm not even saying in the minority. I am just clearly the only person that's upset by this. But like, I want Kate's story to be finished, and like, then go back to E Day. Then like, I think here's the thing: if Kate's story was already done, and this is your starting point for like a quote unquote reboot, awesome. I love the idea
Yes.
as a reboot. You start at E Day, you make your way through a trilogy of games to where Marcus goes to prison or whatever, right? And then you remake the first game on its what 30th anniversary, 25th, 30
Yeah.
or so old on its 30th anniversary in 2036. Uh, but like, dang man, like you're not even finished with the current trilogy, and it's also if this game came out like 3 or 4 years ago, like okay, that would have made sense too as like an interstitial, and then you end the generation on Gear 6. Sure, great, awesome.
I wonder if their plans had to change.
I mean,
You know.
here's the thing. Here's my theory though, right? Is Rod Ferguson is so tied to 4 and 5, right? I mean, he's tied to the entire trilogy, but he left to
Yeah.
go run the Diablo team. My theory is that some of that team went to Blizzard with him, and some of them just left the coalition in general. This is a this is a team that doesn't know what to do with Kate's story after Rod left, because Rod said he has in an interview with Ryan McCaffrey, I think at IGN when Diablo came out, he was asked about Gears 4 and 5 and tactics, and he said that he definitely has an idea of where the story should go, but he's not there anymore, so he can't really control it. My theory
Right.
is once some of this stuff wraps up with Diablo and Gears E Day releases, I think he's going to go back to the coalition and finish the trilogy that he started. I think I truly think and believe that's why they didn't do a Gear 6 is because of Rod Ferguson specifically. Not that he told them not to do it, they better not do it, but out of respect for him because he's such a
Hmm.
great leader and so tied to that storyline. Um, that's my personal opinion, which is also what I'm telling myself to try to not be upset that this is a prequel. uh, that being said, all this footage was in engine in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
It looks great. They're clearly bringing back the horror elements. In a later interview, they did say this is a linear game. This is a linear, full on Gears of War game. None of the open world sand stuff that, we tried to say
Hmm.
we liked in Gears 5, but like at the end of the day, it was super empty and weird and probably didn't belong. Um, and so I will be excited to play this game because I really like Gears of War. Um, but I was disappointed that it was not Gear 6.
Well, I think is I wonder if they're still writing the story, if they reworking the story. What party would be the satisfying ending? Are they really ready to kill off Marcus Phoenix? And how
Yeah,
will
that's the thing too. Is like, I think maybe that too, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like,
no? Go ahead.
I think you want to have established that, hey, we have this other prequel trilogy over here where Marcus lives because we're gonna go kill him over here in this story. Oh man, I don't really want Marcus to die. We already lost Dom, and
You know what? Side tangent about Dom's death. Did not care. I did not care about Dom's death. I think after the wife thing into
I
that
think it
I
was really
seen. Oh,
forced. I mean, it. I don't want to say I didn't care, but it didn't hit me as hard as when Dom had to. Well, the whole scene with his wife in Gears 2, right? I mean, it's
mhm,
a. I don't want to destroy the story for anybody who hasn't played it yet. So even though it's a 20-year-old game at this point, but
yeah,
I that it Dom definitely, his death did not hit me anywhere as hard as I think they wanted it to, um, because it was very clearly road mapped to that. I don't know. I saw it
yeah.
coming from like a mile away, especially at the beginning where he's like super depressed and you're like dragging him out of his bedroom or whatever, right? So
Mm.
I don't know. Man, Gears 3 is so good though. Oh, Gears 2 and 3 are so good. I love Gears. Come
There's some
on.
sections. There's some sections in two that I don't like, but three is good. There's some sections in three I didn't like, but I like how I love the like last level of three.
We
With
should
that,
we should play through those games together. If you're gonna
we
replay
actually
them, we'll just replay them together. Maybe
which
we'll
one did
stream
we?
it or something.
Because we did record. I
Not
thought.
Gears. We only did Halo, and
I thought we did Gears.
we
I
did
thought it
not
was
do
Gears
Gears.
one that we was doing.
Nope. We did not. If we did, we didn't finish it, and I don't remember it.
Okay.
Uh, but we should definitely do like, because I want to start streaming again, and I do kind
Mm,
of want to focus on like Nintendo stuff. But like,
yeah.
I would totally play through Gears, like the entire trilogy on stream at some point, because I do want to start streaming again. I just don't know if I want to do it on my personal one or the Boss Rush one.
Yeah.
My theory, here's the thing. My thing with streaming for us, not that I've talked about it with anybody at all. So, hey, everybody who's listening who is not on the show, if you are this far into the show, this is my idea for content streaming. Um, Everybody uses their own personal Twitch accounts to
Yeah.
stream, and then all of the archived footage from those streams will live on the Boss Rush YouTube channel. Would be my idea. Also, if you're streaming a licensed game, you have to turn the music off because I'm not paying for copyright strikes and I'm not losing a YouTube channel because of that. So like,
Right.
uh, anyways, that's something we could talk about later. But that would
Well,
be my idea, and like streaming through the Gears trilogy plus Judgment would be awesome. I'm so down for that. Let's plan that. Let's plan that out.
no, okay. Because I haven't beat Judgment yet. That's the only Gears one and Tactics. I haven't beat
I'm
that one. I didn't
Tactics
know.
is not. Tactics doesn't count for me in terms
Yeah.
of this what we're talking about here. I'm talking
Yeah.
about those that core set of 360 games.
What what was the
We got to start with one though. You don't start with Judgment. You start with
was
one.
oh so what was one? One was the remastered one that had 2 and 3, right? And Judgment for Xbox
One.
One, right?
Well, there was the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which was the first game. But if you bought the Ultimate Edition of that, the Ultimate
Mm-hmm.
Edition of the Ultimate Edition, you got digital copies of the 360 versions of Gears 2, 3, and Judgment.
Yeah, because
And then,
I brought it digitally. Yeah.
yeah, and then if you bought the Ultimate Edition of 4, it was the same deal, but you got the 360 version of 1 as well.
So I brought the physical version of the Gears one
Mm-hmm.
remaster,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got 2, 3, and Judgment digitally for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
because
yeah, I mean,
I
if E-Day really is a 2025 game like people are saying it is, like I wouldn't mind playing through that trilogy this year, or that
mhm,
core 360 uh whatever those games this year, like for the rest of the year,
yeah,
stream them and do it together. And um because I have everything set up on my side. I actually, after E-Day was shown off, I actually downloaded Ultimate Edition 2, 3, and Judgment to my
yeah,
Series S, because that's where I'm good. That's where my streaming stuff is set up. Uh, and maybe we'll do that.
yeah.
And
Because I could just stream it straight from my Series X to my Twitch
yeah,
um channel
yeah. So
and
maybe
get
we'll
that
do that.
content.
We can do that. I think that would be fun. And then we can put the archive stream. What would be cool actually is if I could get the footage of your archive stream
Mm-hmm.
and then edit the video together. So like when you do something cool, the camera will switch, and then when I do something cool, the camera will switch to me. Oh, that'd be super cool. It'd be, man, that would be a lot of work, but it would be. I think it might be worth it.
That'd be a nice test
Oh man,
to
look at
see.
us. Look at us doing an old school rambling episode of Pow Block. Oh,
uh because like I said, I remember because I didn't like Gears on 360 because of the controller, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down, give this game a fair shot with Xbox One, and that's when the Ultimate version came out.
mm-hmm.
And
Well, they
I
fixed a lot of things too in the Ultimate
uh,
Edition.
Okay. Yeah, and I think because the Xbox One controller was so much better than that 360 controller, and still to this very day with the Series X controller, it's so good. It still feels so good, and
Yeah,
that's to let everybody know. I'm still playing the Final Shape, which I got to get back into. I haven't been into it for a while, but playing the Final Shape on Series X with that controller feels so good. Like I think because of Xbox One and the controller, I was just like, okay, this is where I should play Destiny. This is where I should play this game, this game. All this old stuff that I missed on the 360. Now that I'm playing it on Xbox One and I'm playing on Series X, the control feels so much better. It's so comfortable on my hand or like on my wrist and stuff.
yeah.
So going back to play a lot of those games and stuff, man, I was so quick thing about the Nintendo Direct when they were showing the little, I think it might have been Dragon Quest, but I really thought with one of the shots, I really thought it was like Pandora's Tower or the last story. I thought that was coming. I'm like,
Uh, Fantasian, I thought, when it opened up, because the character with the white hair looks a lot like
mm-hmm,
the main character from the last story. I thought
okay,
at first, like, because I didn't see the title screen pop up first because I was watching it during while I was doing something else,
mm,
and I look over and I thought it was the last story at first, and then I'm like, no, this is Fantasian. This is clearly
I I think we would have lost our minds. Like I would have definitely been like, I need to pre-order this now.
Mhm.
Shoot. And that's well on Xbox. I'm just gonna say that. but yeah, Avowed looked so good. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
Avowed looked much better than it did a year ago, or whenever they showed it last.
the developers direct. I
Maybe
think
that. Maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
that was the first time that they showed it. I think we were so enamored with the way that the environments look, and then when they ended it and you see the that cover art or the art that they was using, and people still to this very day, I was just like, yeah, Xbox, I need this as a background. I think that that team was super happy to get that much love, um, and excitement and anticipation that they put it out. I think the Avowed team was super stoked and just like we have a potential of having a hit uh on for us. And I still believe that and everything. So yeah, Val looked good. Fable still had its comedy timing, but it looks like they also going to be some serious stuff. So that was really good. State of Decay 3, I really can't say much because they didn't really show us much. I don't really think there was a lot of gameplay there. So, but I know that they're going for like some. It felt like some kind of emotional story. With that. Overall though, I really love the Xbox showcase. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah,
I definitely gave them an A,
yeah.
for the stuff that they shown.
I definitely think it was a great showing. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they showed a lot of gameplay from games, which was great. Uh, Not a lot new. I actually think Black Ops 6 had a good showing. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not even a Call of Duty person, but the last one, ironically, was Black Ops 2. The last one I played seriously was Black Ops 2 on the Wii U,
Wow.
which tells you how long ago I stopped playing. Um, I thought Doom Eternal looks great for Doom people.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, I think Indiana Jones looks incredible. I can't wait for Indiana Jones. A little
I'm.
concerned about the first person with that. I don't. I
I share your concerns. Um. Because I'm just like y'all showing us more cutscenes than you actually show in the game, so this is getting very.
I
Yee.
I just feel like if you have the likeness of Harrison Ford, that I feel like that should have been. I feel like that would have been something in the contract where like you have to see Harrison Ford. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. That's whatever. I just it feels like Indiana Jones should have been more Tomb Raider or Uncharted esque, but then it gets compared to those games, and you know, whatever. Look, I trust Machine Games. Wolfenstein is a great series.
Yes, I do too.
I feel like Indiana Jones in particular is a third person action game. Uh, but I trust Machine Games. I think they probably know what they're doing.
And
I'm gonna let
I
it
know
go.
we both said we're going to both get that game, like straight full on support them
Oh yeah, no,
with that.
I'm buying Indiana Jones. I
Yeah.
know, you know, it's on Game Pass, whatever. I'm buying Indiana Jones. I You know how I feel about Indiana Jones. Um,
Yes.
Man, it's so funny because my three favorite movies slash franchises of all time. I have all these collectibles, and I have no collectibles for those three movies or those three franchises. Like the original Ninja Turtles movie. You know how many collectibles they've put out for that movie in particular? I have none of them. Indiana Jones, I have
Crazy.
none of them. And Toy Story, which is probably the easiest one to grab, I don't have any like I don't even have like a Woody doll to sit on my shelf or anything. Like I don't have collectibles for any of my favorite movies. 007 is another one that I don't have any collectibles for. Casino Royale is an amazing movie. Uh, I don't know. I This is a dumb conversation. I I think Fable looks great. I'm really excited to play Fable. I really just don't care about the choice based stuff from the old games. I actually hope they just throw that out and focus on the comedy of this game because I think that's
and,
what's going to work and not the choice based stuff.
and as much as I'm looking forward to Fable, I think I'm not getting the message for this game. So I just kind of wonder, is this like, I kind of wonder what the story is going to be for this game.
Yeah,
And if we're going to be able to create a character, or is the female character that they're showing in the game, I feel like, is that going to be our main character? Because I think it is. I'm like, I just need
yeah.
better messaging.
I kind of feel like they're designing a character for us to play as.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're going to be able to create our own character, which is, look, it's fine. I don't care. There's enough games where you can create your own character, right? I don't
Hmm.
care. Um, Plus, I have a theory that this is a prequel to the other games, and that character becomes a different character within the Fable universe. But that's, we can talk about that later. Um, I love Fable, especially Fable 2. Fable 1 was great. Fable 2 is a top tier game, in my
Yes.
opinion. Uh, so what else did I really like from the Xbox showcase? I really liked, like you said, Avowed looked better. I still have no interest in Avowed. I just don't care about those styles of games. I don't like
Yeah.
Skyrim or Oblivion. I don't like Fallout. I just don't like those types of games.
It's an art. It's an artistic thing for me. So I think that's why I'm liking it
I'm
for.
trying to think what else they showed. Gears, no Halo. Shocked. I'm
I
really
think,
shocked there was no Halo. Like not even a tease for their new season or anything.
yeah, that's what I was about to mention. I think I'm assuming because some new, I think that like that DLC or whatever that update had dropped. So that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, South of Midnight looked awesome. I'm really
Yeah,
excited for South of Midnight. I think that was I think that was the thing I liked the most. They showed a lot of gameplay. The stop motion aspect kind of doesn't do it for me, but the gameplay looks
it's
solid.
so southern and country.
I know.
I had to laugh. I'm like, this voice work is so good and
Yeah, it's
everything.
definitely it's got some flavor to it. I really liked what was shown there. Star Wars Outlaws, I know they showed a trailer for that, and
I'm
Assassin's Creed
excited to play that.
Shadows, which were also shown at the Ubisoft thing. But
Which I enjoyed the Ubisoft one too, with
the, those
the Assassin's
Ubisoft
Creed
game,
one.
those Ubisoft games are my two most anticipated games for the rest of the year. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
like,
out Star Wars Outlaws and that and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
yeah,
Like,
give me those.
man, they look so good. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Star Wars Outlaws looks awesome, and I think, you know, all that crazy space faring tech that they showed off for Beyond Good and Evil 2 all those years ago.
yeah.
That
You
tech
digging
is
the
in this game.
shoes?
That tech is
Okay.
in this game. That's, I think they showed it off there. They tested it in that Starlink game because it's in there
Mm-hmm.
too. And then this is like the full reality of it. I think all your Beyond Good and Evil 2 stuff turned into Star Wars, everybody.
And I am literally fine with that.
Which is so silly because the Beyond Good and Evil 2 Twitter account tweeted out yesterday about the limited run edition of Beyond Good and Evil Anniversary Edition.
Uh huh.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're not gonna let this go, are you? Oh man, good times.
So I think if they do Beyond Good and Evil 2, that's what I think Jeff Kitty's going to snatch that for Game Awards. That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of games coming now that I'm like really excited for, and I can't wait to play. I can't wait to try. I can't wait to, I mean, from Nintendo and Xbox, but or on Nintendo and on Xbox
Mm-hmm.
both, I'm like thrilled that this holiday is going to be so full of games, and my wallet's not very happy, but I will figure it out, and I will also figure out the time to play them because some of our content stuff is shifting around, and I will maybe have time to actually play games. How about that?
Yes. I will say I think the most disappointing showcase. Well, not disappointing, but I the Summer Game Fest itself, the showcase, the Jeff Keighley's
Yeah,
showcase. I think that was just a measure like letdown. Like it was nothing very memorable from that for me, and I maybe have to rewatch it again. but a lot of people just like were using it. Were saying that when people found out how much people were paying to get a trailer in his show, and
Hmm.
then he comes out and say lower your expectations and everything, it just kind of felt like a slam to them, and so it's just like it, it, it was just not memorable. I think that was the low point for Summer Games Fest. Like, I mean, I gave it a C. Like, it wasn't bad or anything, but it's just like this is completely unmemorable. Like, I don't remember any kind of games from it that
Yeah,
stood out. Uh,
yeah,
Wholesome Games was really good though. I definitely enjoyed them.
yeah. I didn't. I only watched the Xbox and the Ubisoft ones. I didn't
Really,
watch
so
Jeff Keighley's thing.
yeah,
I just heard it
I
was
or
bad, so I didn't waste my time.
I ordered my shirts from Wholesome Games, and the mouse, the desktop thing, like, and I like what they're doing, like how they support and stuff. So I'm super excited. And when I met Kim Chica at PAX East, um I knew she couldn't tell me what they had planned for the shirts, but I told her I'm like I'm super excited to see the Wholesome Games. Like I couldn't wait to see her, and everything. She's just amazing. And then the one developer from Toge that Pat was talking to, she's amazing. Like, oh, I'm like, oh, you're just an icon. You're just like literally a queen.
She's going to be
Man,
on our Stray book club.
yes.
I think, according to Pat, she is.
I
So
hope I hope so. Yes, she is literally amazing. Like, I when I met her, and I was just like, thanking her and everything, and just like talking to her and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, you're an icon. Like, you're a legend. You're a
you're an
queen. She's
icon.
just like, oh no. She's just like, I was just like, no, um, you're everything right now. Like, you are the moment. And like, she is super cool. I wish I talked to more people at the Toge Productions. If they're at PAX, I'm definitely going to be talking to them. I'm super excited to meet them all again. Their booth I ended up missing,
Hmm.
because of the appointments and stuff. Um, but shout out
Yeah,
to everybody at Toge and stuff.
yeah. I'm I just I'm excited for PAX. I just need to figure out this money situation. There is
Yeah,
so much money going to be flown around in the next.
I
ah,
am.
it's
I'm
fine.
still. I'm nervous because I'm waiting to get confirmation for the media badge. Like,
It'll be
I
fine.
just got.
You'll get it. It'll be fine. So people are already getting their panel acceptance letters, and we haven't gotten ours yet. I'm worried that we're not going to get it. I mean, understandably, I guess, but like, still, I'm. It would be a bummer if we couldn't do it, but
Yes.
man, there's always Paxies, I guess. So, anyways, what else did we miss? I think this is a great year for games again. I
Yeah.
I I I can't get over how good the direct was because I was not expecting anything. And I think maybe that's why it was so awesome is because we weren't really expecting anything. I mean, we kind of knew that Metroid
Hmm.
Prime had to be shown eventually, and
Yes.
like you're going to do it at a summer thing because it's the biggest one clearly. But like I'm still in shock that of about all the games that we got,
It
Like
it was a different. I'm like, how did they get? I won't. What I'm trying to say is, and I'm sorry, Brett. I'm sorry, Corey. It
for what?
felt like they was topping each other, but when they was topping each other, they were meeting each other's expectations of height. Just like, oh, I didn't expect this. Okay, this is amazing. Oh, I didn't expect this. This is amazing. Are you crazy? This is amazing. Like, you were still on a high from Mario and Luigi Brothership, and
Hmm.
it carried you through. And if you drop to from some of the games and stuff, that next trailer would just hype you back up, and I literally was checking Twitter to be like, what is everybody talking? What for the whole day that Tuesday was just all Nintendo Direct stuff.
Mm-hmm. I saw a bunch of tweets that were very similar, and it was like that awkward moment when you have to hand take the take back the best of show trophy from Microsoft and hand it to
Xbox,
Nintendo.
yeah.
That was pretty funny. It was pretty good. That
Somebody
was
was
pretty
just
good.
like, "Really, Nintendo?" I'm just like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like, "It, dude. The last umpteen hours have been Nintendo. People stopped talking about Microsoft kind of like a couple hours after it was showcased.
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Microsoft or anything, but I'm like, from not 7 a.m. to following Wednesday, people are talking about it, and people are still talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Nintendo did something really special this week, and I'm happy they did, and it was awesome.
And then the box art for the games got revealed. That Zelda box art looks
Oh
amazing.
gosh, I'm kind of shocked there's not a Zelda special edition. To be honest,
I
uh, I mean, I really don't care because I have too many
mhm.
special editions anyway, and I bought too many in the first place recently. But I really don't care. I think I mean they're putting out that Zelda Switch, I guess, which is kind of the
Mhm.
replacement, right? So I I just want it to sit nicely next to my Link's Awakening box on my shelf. I think those two boxes together will be awesome. Um,
I wonder if Nintendo gonna push Link's Awakening hard, like markets it that game
it's on sale right
alone.
now. It's forty
Oh,
one ninety nine on the eShop,
that's
which
not
is their
bad.
sale.
Yeah, but I just wonder if they like, hey, if you like this game, this you'll love this game.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, uh, it's cool though. I really got to give it to Nintendo. They did great.
yeah,
They really
uh,
pulled it off.
I know. There was I think Capcom did theirs. Which was okay. I didn't. I know my son arrived was the big thing, but I think most of their stuff was already revealed. Besides the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff, I think they were saying Nintendo got that right. They were just like, trust me, we're gonna announce this before you guys announce that anywhere. And next thing
Hmm.
you know, folks was going insane.
Hmm.
So, I will say this. For Metal Gear Solid Alpha, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 looks
Delta.
really good. Oh, is it Delta? Okay.
Hmm.
Delta. Um, I'm definitely gonna be playing that on Xbox. I will say that. It looks really, I couldn't play Metal Gear 3 on PlayStation 2. It's just it just wasn't doing anything for me. But
Yeah,
this remake looks really, really good.
yeah. I don't care about Metal Gear at all. It looks good. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's
Mm,
there's a lot of games that I feel that way about now, and I'm just like I've missed the boat. There's certain franchises that I just like I've accepted I will never catch up, and that's okay. And Metal Gear is one of those franchises where I'm just like, this looks amazing. I don't care. I have to force myself not to care. Um, Devil May Cry is another one where like
mm-hmm.
I loved DMC because that was a reboot, and I'm like, great, this is a place for me to jump in, and then they didn't reboot it. uh, and then I'm just like, I can't. I'm out. I can't. I know all those games are on modern hardware. I know all these, you know. So
Yeah. Well, Corey, anything else?
no, I could talk about this direct for probably 3 more hours and just be totally excited, but we should probably wrap it because this is the second show we've done tonight. So
Yes.
and I have to. This will probably be go up Friday in place of expansion pass, I guess. since we don't really have any expansion passes to throw out there. Maybe it'll go up Saturday. I don't know. It depends on what free feeds look like. Maybe it'll go up Saturday. That'll give me some time to edit and process and all that
Yeah, do that.
stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, not that anybody that's listening to this cares because they'll be listening to it on the day it goes out. So I don't know, but I'm excited. I love it. Nintendo is killing it.
Yes.
I can't believe the Switch has this many more games.
Dude, this direct was insanely good. Like you said, S tier.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
So, get me out of here because I'll just keep talking.
Well, with that, everybody, we will see you next time. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Peace out. Bye, everybody.
Bye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.